Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, mate, it's going well. How are you doing?
Yeah, wonderful, pal, wonderful.
Right, sweet. So, my topic today, well, the discussion is obviously going to be around Newcastle because I've been a Newcastle fan my entire life.
Yeah.
And the one thing that I want to discuss specifically now
Mhm.
is I think Mike Ashley has a conspiracy theory to relegate us this season.
Okay. Interesting. So,
Okay,
I have some thoughts on that, but you go ahead. You put your case because it sounds
right,
like you're very much in the favor of that is true, right?
right,
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
So let's map it out, right?
Yeah.
Let's map it out. Let's go all the way back to 2008. I
Yeah.
was 9 years old.
Yeah.
Um, and, and I'm sat in St James's Park. I did an 8 hour drive, 8 hour train journey. Sat there
Mhm.
watching the game. We lose 1-0 to Fulham, and it's like the game before we were relegated, thanks to Damien Duff on goal, and people were protesting about Kevin Keegan's treatment at the time.
Yeah.
And at the end of that season, towards the end, who did we have in charge at the time? It was before Shearer. I can't remember. He was awful.
Yeah.
He gets sacked. They bring in Shearer. It doesn't work. It's like the heroes last. It was very much performative, but we get relegated. Houghton does the fucking axe work. Comes in. They bring in Pardew. That's a whole fiasco. I don't want to get into.
Yeah.
Then we dip, but even towards the end of Pardew, we saw that we saw him bringing Carver because Pardew resigned. Um, we saw attempts,
Mhm.
and then we saw Rafa. Rafa was like our like obviously moment of hope.
Yeah.
Now this season we're in the exact same situation. The one difference being during all of those other ones, we didn't have anyone to buy us. Now we know what happened with the takeover. We know it got blocked by the Premier League, and then Ashley kind of like blamed. He said he was going to sue the Premier League because he said they blocked the deal, he didn't,
Mhm.
and uh, he hasn't gone ahead with that lawsuit because it sounds like a lie. Um, uh, However, I honestly think he's sitting with Steve Bruce, waiting for us to get relegated. And then, with a lot less checks and clearance in the English Football League, he's going to sell us to someone.
Okay. Right. Uh, can I give you a little bit of let me give you a little bit of input of
Oh,
my
perfect.
thoughts.
Yeah.
I think those same people that tried to buy Newcastle, correct me if I'm wrong, if anybody knows in the chat any different, I think them same people tried to buy Derby in the
Oh,
Championship.
really?
Yeah, and I think that got knocked back
Oh.
as well. So,
Oh, Ashley's just a waste man then. That sucks.
yeah.
Like,
Now,
oh,
that I think that is the case. I know Derby, there was a proposed takeover, and they had even had their players not getting paid because of this takeover
wow.
that was supposedly going to happen, but that fell through, and I
Well,
think it's the same people.
I will weave into my next point then, as I did bring a backup in
Okay.
case my conspiracy theory, my wild tinfoil hat is very much on there. I will say. The second point is just, well, more specifically, I don't know if you saw Rio Ferdinand's comments towards Newcastle
Oh
fans
my
recently.
god,
Yeah,
unbelievable.
so yeah, let's go with that. That was one of the most because it links into what I think anyway, and it is a bit conspiracy theory-ish.
Hmm.
I think Mike Ashley has a hand in the pocket there and is getting him to say things.
Yeah. uh,
If you look at, he has the deal with Five and Sports Direct. Like, I think I don't want to, because it's so counterintuitive to what Rio Ferdinand would usually. Although I know Ferdinand doesn't like Newcastle,
yeah.
so it's a 50-50 split. Like, I really don't know, but like those comments as a Newcastle fan just, this is the perfect talking point. You're a United fan.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
it's like it's one of those ones where like he is a footballer from dirt. He is a footballer from like nothing. He came from a grassroots footballing background.
Yeah.
He knows struggle. he's a rags to riches story, and to see him come out with something as like money blind as that and disrespectful to fans, like especially during a pandemic, like that was my big one. I was like, oh come on, man, no one
Yeah.
has money right now.
Yeah. I think it shows you, I mean, my opinion on it, I think it shows you no matter kind of how much footballers try to have that impression that they're a man of the people kind of thing, like Rio Ferdinand. He came from like a poverty area of Peckham. Like that is where Rio Ferdinand, that is his roots, that is where he's from. And he likes to, with him doing these kind of podcasts and stuff like that, he obviously gets a wide audience, and he tries to make himself like a man of the people, like, you know, kind of a bridge between the elite footballers that, you know, they're in their own bubble, and he's kind of the bridge. He's a man of the people. Yes, he's a footballer, but he's also, you know, he's like the Nigel Farage of the of the footballers, like from pod. But I think
he's like to me he's like a millennial Marcus Rashford. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, fuck off, man. It's like you pretend to be what Marcus Rashford is. It's like, oh, you waste, man.
Yeah.
That's all I can say about it. Like, it was so irritating as well, because even though I'm Welsh, I like Rio Ferdinand. Like, I think he's a great footballer, obviously. Like, and I think that's why it hurt a lot of Newcastle fans, because, you know, we came up against him when Newcastle were not in. I mean, at one point in our prime, but like a good Newcastle team. You know, not the Newcastle team that stands before you now.
Yeah.
Like, it was a very different time, and it felt like, you know, I used to love watching games against Man United, but at the same time hated it. Like, it was one of those ones. But like it, yeah, I think that's why it's so frustrating for all of us, because it's just like I want it to be something that's come out of Mike Ashley's mouth. I'll put it that way.
Yeah,
I want it to be like that, because I think Newcastle fans at the heart of it just fucking hate Mike Ashley.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm here for more than anything.
So I mean, I think that well, first of all, I love Rio Ferdinand as a player, and I used to love him as a pundit, and I still think he's a good pundit, but I just think I kind of lost a little bit of respect for him in that way. Still love him as a player, but I kind of lost a little bit of respect, or I think he's definitely out of touch. But the thing that annoyed me on that podcast is there was two people with him that are fans. Like, they do their own fan channels and stuff like that. The person that was on the podcast with is Stephen Howson. He does a fan channel.
I know the name. Yeah, I know.
He he didn't call him out on it. Like, and he definitely doesn't fear expressing his opinion. I think it was disappointing that he, as a fan and as somebody that, you know, came from nothing as well, but as a fan, and he's grew his own fan channel, or with help, he grew like the Stretford Paddock, which is, you know, a big platform for fan content, Man United fan content. He didn't call him out on it, but I do think that it is because he is friends with Mike Ashley, whether or not Mike Ashley's told him, "Oh, can you slip this in on the podcast?" or whether it's just like, you know, they're just mates and he's just backing up his mates.
Imagine being sat there, like, obviously, like, if I'm speaking to, like, I don't fucking know, my mate works at Tesco, and he's like, I fucking hate Tesco, like, every day to me. Eventually, I'm gonna go, oh yeah, Tesco are pieces of shit.
Yeah,
like that. It's kind of
exactly.
that mentality. Like, except the difference is he's speaking about common people, not a conglomerate, and that's why it's so disrespectful. It's like the like, because he said something a few years ago about Newcastle fans as well. He came out with, like, because we've been attacked by pundits for years as fans as well, like, quite blindly, saying that we all expect top 5 football, and anyone that's spoken to an actual Newcastle fan in the past decade has not expected that. Like, we had that glimmer of hope with Rafa, where everything looked like it was going to go right. We were doing well. Like, the takeover was being discussed, and it was like, fuck, maybe I can be proud to be a Newcastle fan again. Was like the conversation I was having. Then, like, the moment, all Rafa wanted was money. Like, that's all he wanted, and Ashley wouldn't give it to him. And it's like, well, you're never going to be able to say it. Just such a disrespectful Like it really, it's just an underlying disrespect. One day, I just hope that like literally feels like we're praying. Because one day we're gonna get relegated and we're not gonna come back.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna happen. Like we've been lucky 3 times now, I think, in the past 2 decades.
Yeah.
Like it's inevitable if we stay on this course. This course isn't sustainable, and I don't know how we get out of it.
Yeah.
Ashley out is the only way, but it. It seems impossible.
Yeah, and to fuel the conspiracy, how can you be happy with what Steve Bruce is doing? It seems like
Oh,
the ship is sinking, and you haven't even got you're not even trying. You're not even trying to let it remain afloat.
I've been quite a passive fan this year.
Mm-hmm.
But the one thing that I tuned in for, I think it was the Brighton game, and I was just like, this is fucking disgraceful. I was like, this isn't even football.
Yeah.
I was like, this is bordering on rugby, if I'm being honest. It was ridiculous. Anyway, I will leave you there with my Newcastle hatred, unless you have any final thoughts.
No, that's a great question because it's something I hadn't thought of as well. But Rio
It's something
Ferdinand's
that, like, if you like the echo like it's something that like really I think bothers Newcastle fans, but we're so beaten up, man. We're honestly like abuse victims. We don't even speak anymore. We're like, oh, it's the worst.
Yeah, but great question. So thank you for calling in. Give yourself a shout out.
Right, okay. Hey, if you don't know me, my name's SP Purser or Shay Purser. I am a professional wrestler from Cardiff in South Wales. I've been a wrestler for 7 years. If you know wrestling, I was trained by Pete Dunne and Mark Andrews. Not that relevant though. I wrestled all around the world. I wrestled in America, wrestled all around the UK. And because of the pandemic, I've been on a temporary hiatus. But now I stream daily wrestling content and also do drinking watch-alongs. That's like my main thing. It's more of like a social thing. I get other wrestlers on, other people on, and we get pissed. We watch rugby, we watch football sometimes, we watch basketball. We do everything. It's real fun. Anyway, I am gonna shoot off. Yeah, thank you very much for having me, man.
No, I appreciate it. Great call.